Hey Hunters, HaloZoo here for another One D&D video. Going through Playtest 8 and all the class changes. This time we're going about the monk. This one is going to be a lot bigger than the last ones, because, yeah, there's a lot going on here. So, let's just dive into it, We got a lot to go through, so first and foremost, weapon mastery is gone. They just removed it. Instead of, I don't know, doing something interesting with it. Yeah, I'm actually kind of sad to see it go, because I get why. Because ultimately in the previous version, it was like, well, what happens is you're pretty much exclusively using it at first, but then once you start hitting like 5th level and later, you just drop it entirely because martial arts attacks are just more powerful. Because they didn't get upgraded by martial arts, and it wasn't on unarmed attacks, so you're just forced to using unarmed attacks only as a monk. It was terrible. So weapon mastery is gone because it didn't work with unarmed attacks and all that, so I can understand that. I would have liked if they just bit the bullet and said, okay, monks have a special thing where they get to apply and basically just take the brawler fighter thing, where it's like, yeah, they get to choose the attack they do. It would be so cool. But it is what it is. Now, however, martial arts just works like it did before. It now works with monk weapons again. Yes! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it was so terrible before. Thank you, Wizards. It now works as it always should work. Like, oh my gosh. Why did you even have to change it? That's my question. Like, why did you have to touch it? But yeah. So that's been reverted, thank goodness. Bonus unarmed strike, no longer explicitly tied to the attack action, so what this means is that at certain times you might use the dash action or disengage or the dodge action, and you can still do unarmed attacks. Fair. At least at first level, this is fine. Later on, this won't matter, but we'll go into why later. But you should already know kind of why that doesn't matter too much. But that's going to be a bit different this time. Dexterous attacks. Also works with grapple and push with unarmed strikes. Awesome. Yeah, the master of unarmed combat can now grapple and push. Yes! Oh, it's so much fun. Oh, it's so good. And I will say, like, I'm going to do a comparison, but already you should know this is so much better. Weapon mastery's gone. Nah, didn't really do much last time, but that's mostly because the changes as a whole just made it so bad. Like, I'll go into it more in that big video, which is going to be this Friday now. But yeah, it's fine, it's cut. It wasn't doing much, so it's fine. Uncanny metabolism. It's now at level 2, and it regains discipline points when you roll initiative, as well as regaining a number of hit points, so you get some HP back, which is, we'll look at it in deeper detail, but it's nice. I don't remember what it did in the previous one, but I don't remember, but that's for another video. Deflect missile, deflect attacks, now works on melee attacks, and the damage of the reaction now includes your dex mod. some of these changes is like, why was this not like that? Stunning Strike now deals force damage if the target succeeds on the saving throw. I have some nitpicks for this. Heightened Discipline is a new feature that upgrades the basic Monk's Discipline effects. Awesome! This idea, it's so cool. Also, let me once again claim the Convergent Evolution of One D&D in 5.5. As we'll see, there's something suspiciously where we kind of came to the same change, which is hilarious. Of course, there's stuff that I did, like, there's actually 2 that I did, and there's stuff that this one has that that I added on further, but that's for another video. Self-Restoration lets you remove some conditions at the end of your turns. That's useful. Deflect Energy also works on melee attacks, since Deflect Arrows also works on it now, so yeah, fair. Superior Defense can now be activated at the start of turn instead of using an action or a bonus action. Nice. Perfect Discipline, replacing Perfect Self. It's now, if you have 3 or less, you go up to 4. Nice. For when you actually need it. Body and Mind, new level 20 feature. And I don't think I actually looked at it. But yeah, Monk, I'll admit, it's never been a favorite, but yeah. Martial Arts. It's pretty much what it should have been from the start. This is the pinnacle of what martial arts is. You're starting at the D6. You have the grapple and shove upgrades as well. It works with weapons. It works with unarmored attacks. You get the special bonus action attack. It's everything you could want in martial arts. Unarmored defense is still the vastly superior version of what the barbarians get. Because, yeah, you don't have armor, so this is your armor, using your primary and secondary stat. And for reference, if you haven't seen the barbarian video, I kind of mentioned that unarmored defense on them is pretty bad. But that's a whole other discussion that I already went through in that video. Though I forgot to mention that the other thing that makes monks better is that they don't have armor proficiency. So that is your AC. Barbs never really needed it. Monk's Discipline. So there are some changes. So Flurry of Blows is Flurry of Blows. What did you expect? Especially since it's kind of what you could call a free feature, is just part of the base class. Excuse my coughing. Have a Sprite to try and keep my voice together, but it's just a can. Spells video is going to be bad. Patient Defense. You can disengage as a bonus action. Alternatively, you can spend a discipline point to take both the disengage and dodge actions as a bonus action. And then Step of the Wind, of course, is dash as a bonus action innately, while you can spend a discipline point to both dash and disengage as a bonus action. And your jump distance is doubled for the turn. Nice. I gotta say, this is awesome. And basically, it kind of resolves the problem that monks have had versus rogues, which is like, rogues can just at will dash and disengage. And now monks can at will dash and disengage. which is going to be absolutely hilarious to see now. But basically, you get to bounce off the walls. Of course, evil monks. Oh boy, do I have concerns about evil monks. But that's a whole personal thing. TLDR, people, do not abuse this to get out of fights while your allies are left behind. Don't be a jerk with it. But yeah, anyway. I do like how they just added the innate abilities. Something I didn't do, actually, but I just gave them 2 upgrades for it. But yeah, this is actually really cool. And I actually like the direction they've gone, where it's like, okay, well, we're going to let you do a lot of stuff now as a monk. So, Uncanny Metabolism. Whenever you roll initiative, you gain all expended discipline points. You do this once per long rest, and when you do so, roll martial arts die. And you gain that plus monk level HP. Now, this is powerful. Basically, once per day, you just get all your discipline back. And you get a big heal. Holy cow, is that going to be good? Just casually like, oh yeah, I've got a lot of HP back now. And I've got all my discipline. Heck yeah. That's going to be very fun and useful. It's certainly better than what Warlock's got. And they aren't in here, even though they kind of need some more changes. But I'd actually say that with, and as a statement with Warlock at least, the elements are all there to make it perfect. Like, as bad as the Pact Boons are Invocations change is, I do actually think that between the 2 versions, they know what to do. And same with Bard. Like, as much as we would like a version with the spellcasting, the spell list change reflected, it's kind of like, you know, just make it more like the original Bard spellcasting, just with the tweaks to be learned spells. The reservoir is a bit different and all that, but unarmed movement's unarmed movement. Deflect attacks. It's just any attack, melee or ranged. Boom. Subclass to subclass. Slow fall, slow fall. Extra attacks, extra attack. Stunning strike! So basically, if they fail, they're stunned. If they succeed, they take martial arts plus whiz damage as force. Quick nitpick here. I would have made the damage. You just always get the extra damage. Especially because, like, you're expending the discipline point. So I would have liked if it was just flat martial arts die force damage. But it's on success or failure. So failure, it still takes the damage. And it's not actually affected by the save. It's not like, oh, it's half damage on a success. No, it always takes the martial arts die damage. It's just if it's stunned or not. This is partly because I would have liked, because sometimes you might actually want the target to succeed just to get the damage, which I don't think you should do. And it's kind of like, I feel like this should do the damage anyway. It's only a stun or not thing. I think that would be a nice tweak. Because right now, it's very weird, because sometimes I'd want it to succeed so I can do the damage. I don't think that should be it. Empowered Strikes is just Empowered Strikes. It is what it is. Evasion's evasion. Acrobatic movement. Heightened Discipline. Right off the bat. I mean, granted, this is the most obvious thing if you're going to upgrade Flurry of Blows, but Flurry of Blows is now 3 attacks instead of 2. Yeah. I mean, I did the same thing with mine in 5.5, so yeah. I mean, it's the change you do. I would have liked to see monks get triple attack and even steal quadruple attack from fighter, but I also really like this where they just get to make even more attacks now. Patient defense upgrade. When you spend the discipline points, you get 2 martial arts die worth of temporary hit points. Nice. And Step of the Wind, you can basically take a larger, smaller creature with you. That's probably my least favorite of them. It's meh. I kind of wish they let you fly with it, which is what I did, where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, later on, you just get to fly with Step of the Wind. It's like, oh yeah. And you're just like walking on the air and just go with the full, like, and kind of embrace this stuff you see in martial arts movies where it's like, you know, you're getting to later levels. Now you're like defying gravity, basically, like pulling off stuff that shouldn't be possible. And basically, like, you're doing stuff that makes it like you're flying through the air. You do have to land at the end, but I just let them fly. Like, let monks fly. It's more fun. Self-restoration. End of turn, you just end a charmed, frightened, or poisoned condition. No saves. Just, it's over. Yeah, that's incredibly powerful. And honestly, could it just be immunity at this point? Because it's practically immunity. Granted, there is a difference. Because this, you still are affected for a turn, but then you just end it. Yeah, it's... Also, obligatory mention of bring the previous exhaustion back. The stacking debuff. It was way better. We all loved it. It was awesome. Bring it back, please. 13 to deflect energy. Basically, any damage type can be deflected. It's nice. Disciplined Survivor. You're just proficient in all saving throws, which is pretty crazy. Perfect Discipline. Roll initiative with 3 or less discipline. Get to 4. Fair. It's nice. It works. You know, it is what it is. It works. Superior Defense. Superior Defense. Body and Mind. I mean, it's really powerful. Because it buffs your Dex and Wiz by 4, but why did you have to bring back, like, copy the least favorite, like, the worst designed capstone? Oh. I mean, it's really good, especially because this actually increases your AC by 4. But, oh, there's so many things you could have done better. So many things. It's good. I feel like there's room for something even better. It works. There's just room for more. Way of the Hand. Way of the Open Hand. Because I refuse to say Warrior. Like, go back to Way. It was so much better. It actually fit the class. Infinitely better than Warrior. Like, get the Warrior terminology out of here. Kill it with fire. Second worst terminology change. Behind everything being prepared spells. That is worse. And absolute stupidity. But anyway. Open hand technique. You have the addle option. Basically, can't make opportunity attacks. Which is nice. Granted, this has more limited use on Monk, because you can just disengage freely now, but it's nice for your allies, let's say. It's also nice if you want to make a flurry of attacks and get away. It's there. Well, I mean, granted, it is flurry of blows, so you can flurry of blows and stop opportunity attacks, which is not bad. But there's... Yeah, I don't think it's as useful, but it's nice to have an option. And it's also not saving throw based. You still got push and topple, though. It is what it is. Wholeness of body. Bonus action. You can regain hit points equal to martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier. And you have whiz uses per day. So it doesn't cost discipline anymore, which is not half bad, actually. And I like that they're like, okay, maybe we don't need this to cost your discipline, because open hand technique requires you to spend discipline, so yeah. Definitely a nice change, and it's keyed off wisdom, which is nice. Fleet step. You can take a bonus action other than the step of the wind. You can use step of the wind as part of that bonus action. I would specify that a part of me feels like this should be the specific to the going with the discipline point ones, because being able to, because it basically trivializes spending the discipline on Step of the Wind, because you get dash and disengage for free now. Granted, this is around where you get heightened discipline, so there is that, at least. But it's just after that, so I think there needs to be some tweaking with this to restrict when you can use it, because it kind of trivializes normal Step of the Wind. It's Quivering Palm, meanwhile, I'm not going to go through all of it, but basically it replaces one of your attacks with the end of vibration. And the cost and damage is adjusted, so it's 4 for 10d12 now. I'll have to check the what the old one did, but basically, TLDR, it's been tweaked around, but basically, you can end it as part of the attack action in place of an attack. I wish you had 3 attacks instead of 2, but it's fine. But yeah, overall, Monk, this is almost perfect. I mean, the only changes that need to happen is they could bring back Weapon Mastery, but modified to work with Unarmed Strike, or maybe even leave it behind, because Unarmed Strike has Grapple and Shove. So, or maybe like Grapple and Shove are integrated into it, and then also you get Weapon Mastery again. But, and then also, get a better Step of the Wind Heightened Discipline, because the one they have, it's kind of lackluster. Body and Mind could be something actually interesting, but it's actually not bad as a capstone. It's actually really powerful. Arguably more powerful than barbarians. And they already had a powerful one. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. So if you want more One D&D stuff whenever it comes around, like and subscribe to stay tuned for that. There will also be other D&D stuff, such as talking about my homebrew projects, such as the 5.5 project I mentioned, where I've let monks fly. There'll also be gaming stuff sometime, maybe next week, I don't know. But without further ado, I'll see y'all next time. Halo Zoo